everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Wellness Professionals and Water. Today we have Maryliana with us today from Cincinnati, Ohio. Hi, Maryliana.
Hi, Wei. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Very good. Thank you for having me. I feel so honored to be here. Thank you.
It's great to have you here today. It looks like it's nice weather where you are.
Yeah, I think it's going to rain soon, but it feels nice today.
So we're Conversations with Water about wellness. And today I've got my wolf mug, as I always do. How about you? Owl.
Owl mom. And I love that it's mama owl and baby owl because it talks a lot to me in this my journey as a mother.
So,
The best thing.
is that a gift or anything, or any other meaning behind that mug? Or
Oh, it was a present from my mother-in-law, and I love because she always given presents for me that um, very from her intuition. Like she always know what I'm needing in the moment, and she sent it to me. So it was a precious moment that I received this mug from her. Yeah,
oh, that's sweet. That's awesome. Well,
yeah.
thank you again for making time today out of your busy schedule to be with us here at awakeningmindbodyandspirit.com to talk a little bit about you and what you do. So I'm excited to get into the question of that. But first, I need to just read a bio so everybody can understand who you are and what you do. So this is a little bit about you. Maryliana is the owner of Awakening Breath and is the founder of the Awakening Breath course, with her mission being the empowerment of individuals to recognize the love within themselves as the most powerful force to transformation, and thus recognize their own natural ability to heal. She has been an instructor of breathwork and a practitioner for several decades. She has hosted large and small workshops internationally, sharing her sacred breathwork with people aged adolescent to adult and bringing ceremony into the process of healing. She is a yoga instructor, sacred sexual practitioner, committed to helping women heal, and she is coming to us today from Cincinnati and originally from Venezuela, South America, and can offer retreats, workshops, group sessions, individual sessions in both English and Spanish. Well, again, thank you for being here. Wow.
Thank you, Wayne. That sounds beautiful. Um, it's a little funny for me to hear that several decades, um, because I'm not like this old, but it sounds beautiful. Thank you.
Well, no problem. No problem. It's a pleasure.
I love your interviews and your website. So thank you for having me here. I enjoy so much this.
Well, and thank you for having a conversation with me today about our question, which I think will be on the minds of a lot of folks, and they'll be very, very, very interested to understand more because you've created this breathwork course and you've done breathwork for a long time. So I wanted to ask you, for those that don't know, what is breathwork and how can breathwork help a person?
Yes. Um, I would say breathwork, there are many kinds of breathwork. When you go to yoga class, usually you are working with asanas and also with breathwork. And some kind of yoga are very deep related with pranayamas, that is kind of breathwork. And those pranayamas always help you to remove mental and emotional obstacles. Uh, it's really helpful, but I want to be, uh, make the acceleration that the breathwork that I do is a little different because this kind of breathwork it's a natural way to induce us to modify a state of consciousness. So it is a very powerful kind of modality to heal and to induce us in a modified state of consciousness. And all that means is that for some point, it helped us to put aside our critical mind. That critical mind doesn't help us to really go to a deep transformation. But with breathwork, that critical mind goes to one side. So we are able to connect with our heart, our own essence. And from there, we can, most of the time, we can really have a healing process or really get that point of a transformative experience, right? So also breathwork is, some people call it like energy breathwork, this kind of breathwork, because it's also open certain energy points in our bodies and our emotions, and help release emotions and help to release and unblock those stagnant energy that have been stored in our body. So there, yeah, there are more things even. Also, I call it breathwork as the breathwork of the heart, because usually breathwork open our heart. You know, when we are doing this kind of breathwork, our heart, our chakra in the heart, our four chakras, it gets a lot of energy to move around and open the possibility for us to receive all the information that is from our heart. It's the ancient information. It's also information connecting with the spirits and our ancestral lineage. And how I said before, because we are so much in our critical mind, sometimes we are not able to access to that information. And with this breath work, we are able to do it. So it's very beautiful, open heart modality. Yeah. And another thing that I would say is they also help us to raise the vibration, the frequency of the vibration of our consciousness and our body. So, you know, and if we raise our vibration, we also are raising the vibration of the world, understanding that we are all connecting, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think, you know, I've done your breath work, so I know the circular breathing that you do. And, you know, some folks who don't know breath work, they're looking on the internet and they think about, well, hyperventilating, but it's not anything like hyperventilating, not at all. So can you explain a little bit about that circular breath that you do?
Yes. It's just we keep certain pattern, you know, in this work, and we call it circular and connected, because we can imagine a circle and we are breathing in this circle, keeping in the inhale close to the exhale together. It's not any pause between one and another one, but it's not fast to go to the hyperventilation process. We
Right.
certainly, since, you know, so many people certainly feels a lot of symptoms and things in our body, then it has to be with the fact that we are moving all the energy in our body, and also has to be with the fact that we usually don't know how to breathe correctly. And when we are doing breath work, we are bringing more oxygen to those parts of our body and our brain that usually are receiving less oxygen that they need, right? But it's not a hyperventilation process that is happening there.
Yeah, I think that's great. That's good to clarify that. And the other thing too that's really unique about what you do is the awakening part of this. So you're really moving people towards being more aware and consciously aware through your process and your awakening breath course, which I know we probably don't have a whole lot of time, but just one sentence or two on that, if you don't mind, a little bit about how you bring awakening.
Yeah, how I said before, because it helps you to, you know, induce the modified state of consciousness. And when induce that, it helps us to become more aware of our subconsciousness, right? And also open the door to connect with a spirit world, you know? So that also helps us to become more aware. And when we do certain number of sessions of breath work, usually we start to understand how our mind is working, and we start to see those thoughts that usually are hiding behind our, you know, our critical mind. So when we see these thoughts, we are able to change them, right? We are able to transform them. So I always recommend breathwork for everybody because improve your life, help you to understand why you are creating in your life. And I always say, we are the creator of our life. And if you want to change your life, you can change it, just create it differently. So breathwork is a really good tool to help you to see how you can create your life different if you want to change it, or how you can change anything in your life.
So if you have a trauma, you have a life change, breathwork is a great opportunity to get to know yourself and what's going on in your mind and your body and your spiritual sense, so that you become awakened to maybe some possibilities in your life. It sounds like that's what you do in a brief nutshell, right? That's a lot in a short period of time in a few sentences. But one more thing I wanted to add was sacred sexuality. That's not something that we see a whole lot in breathwork. So if you could just a few sentences on sacred sexuality, and maybe we can dive into that in another program, but it'd be great to hear a little bit about what that is.
Yeah, it would take a lot of time to talk about sacred sexuality. All I can say the sacred sexuality and breathwork are related. They did, sacred sexuality doesn't exist without breathwork. Like they are completely related. We cannot practice sacred sexuality if we don't practice breathwork. They go together, and they both are very precious tool to help us to become aware of our creations. And we also can use sacred sexuality to create our goals, to create our life, to create what we want in our life. So we can talk more about that in another interview.
Well, that sounds great. Well, again, thank you very much, Maryliana, for being here today, and cheers to you and all that you do to help people in the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
I
you.
hope this is helpful for people. Have a good day, Wei.
Well, thank you. You have a good day too. And this video will be presented on Mind, Body, and Spirit website, mindbodyspirit.com, as well as the link to Maryliana's website if you want to get a hold of Maryliana. And thank you again, Maryliana. Have a great day.
Have a great day.